Hi everyone, welcome to this lab series. In this playlist, we're going to build a modern corporate network step by step using GNS3 and real Cisco IOS images. The goal is simple. If you are studying for CCNA or CCNP, or if you are already a network engineer who wants to see how all the features come together in a realistic design, this series will walk you from empty topology to a fully working enterprise-style network. Let me quickly show you what we're going to build. At the center, we have our HQ campus, two core switches, core 1 and core 2, an access switch, ACC1, user VLANs, management VLANs, and voice and Wi-Fi VLANs here. Hanging off that, we have a server farm, application servers, database servers, and we will use ACLs to control who can talk to what. At the edge, we have internet firewall style router, FW edge, connected to an ISP router over here, iNet RTR, which represents the internet. We also have DMC with a web server that is published to the internet using static NAT. On the one side, we'll connect a branch office, one edge HQ at the HQ side, branch 1 RTR at the branch, and we'll use OSPF multi-area to connect the branch to HQ and out to the internet. On top of that, we'll layer wireless and guest VLANs, a voice VLAN, and basic QoS. Campus security features like DHCP snooping and dynamic ARP inspection, and monitoring with syslog, SNMP, and NetFlow. So by the end of the free playlist, you are not just doing small lab commands. You will have a complete, realistic corporate network that looks like something you had actually seen in production. Tools and requirements. To follow along, you will need GNS3, a GNS3 VM with enough RAM, around 8 gigabit dedicated, Cisco IOS V and IOS VL2 images, and the BPCS nodes for simple PCs. I'll keep the design GNS3 friendly, so you don't need crazy hardware. I'm doing this on a machine with 16 GB of RAM and allocating 8 GB to the GNS3 VM. You can adapt the design to EVE-NG or CML if you prefer, but I'll be showing everything in GNS3. Before we start configuring anything, I want you to see the naming convention and IP scheme we'll use across the series. Device names. Core 1 and Core 2 are our dual core switches. ACC1 is the access switch at HQ. FW edge is the internet edge router or firewall router. iNet RTR is the ISP side. One edge HQ sits between HQ and the branch. Branch 1 RTR is the branch router. And we have servers like SRV-APP1, SRB-DB1, and DMC-Web1. For IP addressing, we'll use private ranges in a structured way. For example, 10.10.0.0/16 for HQ networks, 10.20.0.0/16 for branch networks, a dedicated DMC subnet for the web server, and point-to-point /30 links per one and internet connections. I'll show the exact subnets at the start of each episode, so you can pause the video and copy the table into your notes if you want. Structures of the series from episode 1 to 11. Let me quickly walk you through the structure of this free series so you know what's coming. Episode 1, we build the core and access, VLANs and HRP gateways, and get our first PCs online. Episode 2, we add the server farm, app and DB VLANs, and run OSPF in Area 0. Episode 3, we apply ACLs to control who can talk to the servers. Episode 4, we build the Internet Edge and DMC with NAT and public access to a web server. Episode 5, we add a branch office and run OSPF multi-area so the branch can reach HQ on the internet. Episode 6, we design wireless and guest VLANs so Corp Wi-Fi can see inside, but guest Wi-Fi is internet only. Episode 7, we introduced a voice VLAN and basic QoS on the WAN. Episode 8, we hardened the campus with DHCP snooping, DAI, and port security. Episode 9, we add monitoring and telemetry with syslog, CCNP, and NetFlow. Episode 10, we do an automation overview and show a small Python and Ansible example against this live network. And finally, Episode 11 is a wrap-up where we walk through the entire topology and trace real traffic paths end-to-end. Each episode will follow a consistent pattern. First, a short overview of the concept, then the design, which device, which links, and which IPs, then the live configuration, and finally, verification and troubleshooting tips. On top of this free series, I'm also building a Pro Lab course based on the same topology. In the Pro course, we'll go deeper into advanced topics like BGP Dual ISP Internet Edge, IPsec Site-to-Site VPN to a partner site, zone-based firewall policies on the edge router, multi-VRF edge with separate corp, guest and partner BRFs, selective route leaking between BRFs, and more automation labs with Python and Ansible. I'll mention that again later in the series, and you'll find the link in the description once it's live. But the important thing is, you can follow this entire playlist for free, step by step, and end up with a really solid corporate network lab you can reuse for your CCNA, CCNP, and design practice. So that's the overview of what we're building. In the next episode, we'll jump straight into episode 1, where we bring up the core and access switches, create our first VLANs, and configure HSRP so our clients have a redundant default gateway from day 1. If you want to follow along, I recommend getting your Gen S3 environment ready, preparing iOS-V and iOS-V L2 images, and maybe sketching your own version of the topology so you can take notes as we go. Thanks for watching this introduction. Let's move on to episode 1 and start building the network.